Hi and welcome to this video of types of information systems. This video will help you to understand the micro level data transactions through transaction processing systems. At the end of this video, you will be able to explain transaction processing system. So we'll start with a scenario where we see there is a guy called Vikas who is a sales executive at the Big Bazaar. His responsibility is to stand behind the point of sale, it's a billing counter, and generate the bill for the consumers. Now, at the end of the day, he has to go back to his manager and prepare a transaction list which has been done through the machine he was connected to, and take a printout of it, and he goes to his manager and deposit the cash for verification. So therefore, during the day, the number of transactions he has executed through his machine needs to have a record generated, and then same record and the cash which he has collected during his duty time needs to be submitted to his manager, then only he can go for his own day off. Now, thing is that every moment, every day, what he was doing transaction. Now, essentially, a transaction means, it's an activity of the organization that generates information recorded by the systems. So, transaction processing systems essentially can be done using your handheld devices, and you can do it for exchange of goods and services, for which can be recorded by the online systems, and the systems can ask user for information. That also a part of transaction. And finally, these transaction systems are designed to serve many users. So a transaction processing system essentially has got a designed interface through which consumer can interact with the system, and the system also provides information about how to operate. And finally, it allows the user to change the input. For example, if I am using a transaction processing system in a billing counter, maybe I have gone to McDonald's. So if I am asking for some burgers to be served to me, the transaction processing system or the billing counter guy would ask me number of units I want. So using that interface, he would make changes in terms of price and the quantity of the product which I am looking for, and he would generate a bill after I have made the payment. So that is the way that transaction processing systems interact with the customers. Now, this transaction processing system produces huge chunk of data every day, which gets stored into a large database, which is working as a resource for the organization to be consumed in the days to come to produce and report about the performance. So transaction activities include procuring of materials, receiving of payments, shipping goods. There are so many other activities which could be counted under transaction activities. So let's take an example. One user wants to access his ATM machine for withdrawal of money. So the moment you insert, it asks for a PIN. You submit the PIN, it asks you, about your transaction or the limit on which you want to withdraw. So the moment you feed the details, the transaction gets executed and you get the printout of your transaction slip which has been done with that. So that is the transaction happening between machines. So this is a great example to understand how transaction takes place between a device, a system, and an individual. In this video, you learned that a transaction is any activity of the organization that generates information. Transaction data is recorded during transactions into large databases that become a resource that the organization can use. And finally, most transaction processing systems present carefully designed interfaces to the user that guide the transactions. In this video, you understood the importance of transaction processing systems.